A welcome surprise for foster parents. The monthly reimbursement has gone up nearly 25%.
Certainly much needed. The funding was approved during the legislative session. Fox 5's Danny Maston is in studio with the new details of this rates and what it means to help all these foster parents.
Well, Jacqueline and John, this means foster parents will have a little more money in their pockets every month to care for their foster kids. The reimbursement rate hasn't gone up since 2007 and was still what Clark County says is a critical need for foster parents. They are hoping this makes a difference with getting more kids into homes.
Sterling Monterosa has been a foster parent since 2019.
I am definitely happy. We've wanted to expand our home, have a big family. That's what we get to have now.
Monterosa started out with 3 boys who we ended up adopting and is currently fostering a girl.
It's just so nice to be able to take people out of situations that aren't ideal or they don't get to grow up with what you would consider your normal childhood.
He says an increase in reimbursement rates allows him to provide his foster kids with everything they need.
Well, as everybody knows, kids are super expensive, so from shoes to groceries to everything. As soon as you buy a pair of shoes, they're outgrown in 2 months, it feels like.
Our foster parents were actually integral in helping with that advocacy and making it happen.
Here's a breakdown of how much rates have gone up. For foster kids ages 0 to 12, the rate went from approximately $680 a month to almost $880. And for 13 to 18-year-olds, the rate went from $770 a month to $980.
They really needed some additional support to be able to safely maintain our kids in their homes.
Director of Family Services for Clark County, Jill Morano, says along with the state increases for reimbursement, the county has also been looking at ways to provide additional support to foster parents.
The startup costs that we weren't covering before, so that'd be things like the cost of fingerprinting, the cost of physicals.
Which Morano says are some of the first steps that need to be completed before fostering a child.
And we have information and a link to sign up to become a foster parent by clicking on this story, which is listed on our website at fox5vegas.com. Back to you.